So an ingrown toenail is where the nail boarder starts to dig into the edge of the nail skin. Most ingrown toenails start with a subtle tenderness or soreness to the edge. Over time, it can continue to dig in. It will flatten out, but it definitely won't have that edge that will be sharp and tender on the border. Most people will think they cut it out, and then it keeps growing back and it keeps growing back, and it continues to just dig in as the skin kind of encroaches on the edge. So a lot of people will come in with these very infected ingrown toenails. It almost feels like the nail's digging in, hence an ingrown toenail. Most people will experience pain, swelling, inflammation, redness around the border. Very often it's cured by a treatment in the office where we remove the border. The procedure is done very commonly in the office the same day. Hardest part is really putting the toe to sleep. The procedure is performed by numbing up the toe with anesthetic. It takes a couple pinches of a needle. Last pinch on this side. Low pinch, okay? So. Once the toe's asleep, we'll usually come back in about 5 minutes when the toe's numb, and procedure will take about 3 minutes. We cut the edge of the border, and then we usually apply a little bit of chemical on the root to kill the nail matrix. Throughout the day, you can be in shoes. You really can be doing any activity. This is very common in a podiatry office, where sometimes in the urgent care setting, they'll usually just remove the border. Very often that border will come back and you'll be dealing with another ingrown toenail. So we typically advise you getting a procedure done with a podiatrist where they can perform the matrixectomy, which is using the chemical to burn the root. Once we burn the root, we'll bandage up the toe, and then you'll keep the bandages on for the day. And then we'll give you a little care instruction sheet. Usually the sheet has you take the bandage off tomorrow morning, and then you'll start soaking the toenail for 2 weeks in warm water, Epsom salt soaks. And as the edge heals, the skin will just nudge up to the new nail border. And very rarely does that nail border ever recur or come back, but there's a small chance that it can. Most often patients are just super happy they get it done. For kids, it's a tough procedure to do. Very often it's the best way to go, where you're not having to deal with multiple procedures and multiple shots, and for a lot of kids that can be pretty traumatizing. So most ingrown toenails are very much hard to cure by themselves. At the time that they're infected, usually the nail border is so deep that you can't even see the nail border or the part that's growing in. Very often you could dig and get some nail, but you're not usually getting the part that's still trying to grow. So we recommend you coming in and having a procedure done. In our office, we usually do it same day. In the long run, it's a procedure that we do same day under local anesthetic. And you'll see on these videos how easy they can be and how simple it looks, okay? Aftercare is pretty simple as well. Most people can return to sports the next day, return to the gym, return to activities. Really, there's very little restrictions for patients as they undergo the procedure. I'll send a lot of kids back to sports the next day. There's very little restrictions in the way of playing games or doing dance, or even adults going to the gym or being in work boots the next day on the job.